All right, everybody, get ready, because today we are diving deep into Live for Nothing or Die for Something. This one was a listener request, and we aim to please. We're not just skimming the surface here, we're going deep, looking for those golden nuggets of wisdom that can help you on your own journey of purpose.
It's a book that's really spoken to a lot of people, and for good reason, I think.
It grabbed me right from chapter 1, where it calls purpose this riddle. Which, even Julius Caesar was wrestling with this back in the day, right?
Yeah.
But for me, it was when it compared purpose to a compass that it really clicked.
You know, what I find so interesting about that analogy is that it's not about some rigid, predetermined life plan. It's more like having an inner North Star guiding you, which seems to be right up your alley from what you were saying earlier about wanting direction but not feeling boxed in. It's more about having that guiding vision, wouldn't you say?
Totally. And that leads perfectly into chapter 2. Okay, that knight in rusty armor metaphor. Whoa, I don't know about you, but I felt that one. All those times you try to project this perfect image, hiding behind this armor instead of just being your true self.
Oh, such a powerful image. And the book doesn't just leave you hanging there. It actually gives you some tools to work with. Like you were saying about wanting actionable steps, This chapter delivers. It lays out some exercises to try.
To help us get rid of those masks we were talking about.
Exactly. It's about identifying. What are you doing or saying just because you think it's expected, not because it truly reflects who you are? And then the book challenges you to get real about the fears that might be holding you back too.
Yeah.
What's preventing you from really stepping into your authentic self?
And that's where, I remember correctly, the book talks about core values. Figuring those out. It's like, what are those non-negotiables that truly make you you, right?
Exactly. It's about being crystal clear on what truly matters, what drives you, what motivates your actions. Because once you have that clarity, then you can start shedding those layers of, needing external validation and step into your most authentic self. Then you can really start to build something lasting.
Which brings us to that image in chapter 3 that really stuck with me. The self-made man statue. It's not enough to just think about purpose. You actually have to take action and chip away at the things that are holding you back to reveal your best self.
I love that. It really emphasizes that point about taking action.
You're sculpting a masterpiece, basically.
Yes. And this is where the book gets even more interesting because it emphasizes that it's not just about self-improvement and isolation. Remember, you're talking about collaboration, the importance of making a positive impact. This chapter dives into that, building a legacy that benefits everyone.
It really challenges us to think bigger than ourselves, to build something lasting, inclusive, something that the book calls a realm of consciousness, something that uplifts everyone.
That's a good way to put it. And it also highlights that we can't afford to wait for that perfect moment. It urges us to act now and emphasizes that even those small, consistent steps can lead to incredible results, especially for someone like you who's all about taking action.
Speaking of action, chapter 4 is full of it.
Yeah.
That story about Diana Nyad, the swimmer who kept trying to swim from Cuba to Florida. So inspiring. She faced setback after setback, but her persistence was incredible. It took her multiple attempts, but she never gave up.
I love that story. And it ties in perfectly with the book's message about how every worthwhile journey will come with its share of resistance. And, what defines us is not the setbacks, but how we respond to them. And I remember you mentioning that you sometimes struggle with setbacks too.
Not sure.
This chapter really resonated with me because of that, especially the part about having a strong support system, people to share your dreams with and to lean on when things get tough.
It's like having your own personal cheering section, right?
Right.
And what I also found interesting is how the book highlights that facing resistance can actually make us stronger. It strengthens our resolve, makes our purpose even more unshakable.
It's true. The book actually suggests that resistance can actually make our purpose even clearer. It's like, when you try to extinguish a flame by blowing on it, it just makes it burn brighter.
And now hold on tight, because chapter 5 is where things get super real. The book uses this powerful analogy of crossing the Rubicon.
Oh, yes. Just like Julius Caesar. It's about reaching that point of no return. The decision's been made. You are fully committed to your purpose, no matter what challenges lie ahead. But of course, there are fears and doubts to contend with before you cross that Rubicon.
Totally. It's about acknowledging those fears head on, figuring out what's holding you back, those internal roadblocks, and then taking that leap of faith. You need courage and action, right?
Absolutely. Vin vidi vici. I have a feeling that resonates with you.
Totally. And while it's important to conquer those fears, Chapter 6 comes in with this great reminder that the journey itself is just as crucial as the destination.
That's where the book's analogy of the train ride comes in.
Yeah.
You got your destination, your goal, but it's about enjoying each moment, taking in the scenery along the way. Carpe diem, right?
Right. It's a good reminder to just be present, find joy in the small victories, the lessons learned. It's so easy to get caught up in just focusing on the end goal.
It is, and that's why this chapter is so crucial, because it reminds us to find the fulfillment in the journey, especially when things get challenging, which, let's be honest, they inevitably do.
Yeah.
Life had its ups and downs.
It absolutely does. And those challenging moments can make you question if you are living your purpose, like, am I doing this right?
That's where Chapter 7 really spoke to me. It brings up this concept of the last station, like that time for reflection when you look back on your life.
But it's not about being consumed by regret, right?
No, not at all.
It's about honest self-reflection. Did we stay true to ourselves, to our values?
Precisely. Yeah. And, the book talks about the Apostle Paul here, who said, I have fought the good fight, I have finished the race, I have kept the faith. It's about acknowledging that you faced the challenges, you gave it your all, and you lived in alignment with your purpose.
Absolutely. Because living with purpose isn't about achieving some perfect life, is it? It's about embracing the entire journey, the ups and downs, the struggles, the triumphs, and just showing up as your most authentic self every step of the way.
It's about being able to look back and say, you know what? I stayed true to myself.
Yeah.
Even when it was hard. I didn't compromise on my values or shy away from the hard work.
And even though the book talks about this last station, it doesn't feel like an ending, does it? It's more like just the beginning, I think.
Yeah, I love that. It really emphasizes that our journey, self-discovery and purpose, it never really ends.
Mm-hmm.
It just keeps going.
Yeah.
And it's about taking that same energy, that same resilience, that same purpose into each new chapter.
It's like, okay, now that I've done that, what's next? Bring on the next adventure.
Exactly. And you take those lessons with you. And the book also encourages us to never stop exploring, never stop learning.
Always be growing.
Always be growing. Never stop living in alignment with what matters.
Speaking of living authentically, that ending got me thinking about Frank Sinatra, oddly enough.
My way. Yes.
I could see that, yeah.
Right. It's about having the guts to forge your own path, making choices that feel right for you, even if they're not the most popular or conventional. What about that resonated with you?
It's about defining success for yourself, not letting other people dictate that. It's about owning your individuality and letting your own light shine.
Absolutely. And I think it was in this chapter that the book mentions how you're probably going to face some resistance when you do that, when you start to live more authentically.
Oh, absolutely. It's inevitable that when you start really living in line with your values and what matters to you, yeah, there will be pushback, especially from people who are comfortable with the way things are,
Which is why I think it's so important to have that solid support system that the book talks about. You need those people who get you.
100%. Surround yourself with people who celebrate your true self and encourage you to keep chasing your dreams, even when it gets tough.
Yeah, they're like your own personal cheering section, your source of inspiration, a reminder to stay true to yourself no matter what. And let's face it, there will be bumps in the road. It's not always going to be easy.
It's not. There will be doubt, uncertainty, maybe even fear. But even those moments are opportunities, right? Opportunities to learn and grow and to really solidify our commitment to what we're pursuing.
It's all part of the journey.
It is. It makes you remember why you started in the first place.
Absolutely. And I think that's where that whole Veni Vidi Vici thing comes back in. You've got this. Exactly. You've got to tap into your own strength, that resilience that helps you overcome obstacles and stay true to who you are.
Because in the end, it's your life, your purpose, your journey. And that's what this book really drives home. So go out there, embrace the adventure, and design a life that is both meaningful and fulfilling to you.
I think that's something we can all take to heart. Wherever you are on your journey, whatever challenges you might be facing right now, just remember, you've got this. You have the inner strength, the wisdom to create an amazing life for yourself, one that's both authentic and inspiring.
It's about taking control and designing a life that truly reflects who you are, And I think what we've talked about today with those knight in rusty armor moments and that Veni Vidi Vici spirit, it all comes down to aligning your actions with those core values we were talking about earlier. What do you think?
100%. And remembering that the journey is just as important as the destination. It's about savoring those little wins, learning from the setbacks, and surrounding yourself with people who really get you.
Yes. Having that support system is so key. It's not enough to just dream big, you also have to take action, right? And those steps, even if they're small, they can lead to big change.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And sometimes, if you think about it, that resistance we were talking about, sometimes it's a sign that you're actually on the right path, that you're pushing those boundaries,
Yeah.
moving towards a life that's truly meaningful to you.
It's like that saying, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. I love that one. So for anyone listening, as you're on your own journey, keep chipping away at those things that are holding you back and enjoy the view along the way, right? All the amazing connections and lessons learned.
Right. And don't forget about persistence, Think back to Diana Nyad. She didn't make it on her first try, but she kept going, kept believing in herself and what she wanted to achieve. That's what got her there in the end.
So go out there and discover what sets your soul on fire. Don't be afraid to take that leap of faith, to cross your own Rubicon and really go after it. You've got this.
The world needs what you have to offer. So embrace that adventure and build something incredible.
Beautifully said. We really hope this deep dive into live for nothing or die for something has given you some food for thought, maybe sparked some new ideas. See you next time. Until then, keep exploring, keep asking those big questions, and keep shining bright.